Hi folks, I spent the last few days in a government hospital in Sri Lanka in a general ward because my father got a minor stroke and I had to stay with him for about 3 days. So I want to share the experience of how I spent the time. This was my first time in a hospital, spending it overnight and staying with the patient. It was a good experience. Of course, there was a sadness and the stress of having my father go through a minor stroke. Thankfully, he's recovered now, and hopefully, it won't happen again. We'll see. In the meantime, I want to share my experience about how my stay was in the hospital. So I stayed. The first day was a Saturday. When I went, my father was already admitted by my uncle and my cousin. So it was noon, and I took only 2 or 3 clothes and my phone charger. I was not prepared anything else. I did not know what to take and all. I had to buy other things like the toothbrush, toothpaste, and several other things like wet wipes, those things and all. I will describe about those during this video. So first, when I went to stay in the ward, it was they were taking tests and doctors were coming. I was getting familiarized with the environment. I had some chats with the neighboring. It was a general ward, about 30. It was an open ward with 30 patients, about 30 patients, and doctors, nurses running here and there, different kinds of patients. Now my father was in a stroke patient. There was a next bed there was a patient from he had got fit. Another patient was there. He had got a heart attack or something. He had thought it's a heart attack and come, but it's not a heart attack. But they were keeping him to do some tests. Another patient was there. He had some germ had gone into his bed in his head, and he was unconscious. There was a guy who was looking after him 24/7. So I went and spent the whole day that day from noon to night, and the next day also till about noon, till my sister's husband came and relieved me for the day. Continuously for 24 hours I was there from Saturday to Sunday. And at the start, when I went to the hospital, I was attending to my father. My father was trying to pull the needles and the feeding tube. There was a feeding tube put through his nose. He was trying to pull it because he was unconscious and he was confused. He couldn't understand where he was. Slowly he was regaining the consciousness. His brain was starting to function again. But it was a difficult time. When I sit down again, I used to be by his bed and again go and try to sit down a little near the chair or bench that was there. Then my father might try to pull or get up or get up. Then I had to again come back to go to his bed and calm him down. Later only I learned, like these patients, the first day of stroke, night they did that one. They tied his hands onto both of his hands. They tied onto the bed rails. Then he couldn't get up or move. He used to struggle a little, but he was calm whole night. So the whole night I spent the night that day. I had, like I said, I did not go prepared. So luckily in the hospital there was a cafeteria. There were toothpaste and toothbrush. I bought that one. I was wearing a denim t-shirt. I had brought a casual sarong and a t-shirt, but I did not wear that one night. Whole day, the morning dress itself, the denim and t-shirt I wore, and tried to sleep night on a chair by the bedside. The whole day I was there is no bed to lie for the person who is looking after the patient in Sri Lanka in a general ward. That's the way it's normally in every general ward. The person who looks after the patient will have to spend the night in a chair by the bedside. It's not as difficult as you think, because You can I kept the head like this onto the bed rail and onto the bed and try to sleep, but every 5 minutes or 10 minutes my father will try to get up. Then I use when my father gets up, I used to again I also get up, and every 10-15 minutes like that only, maybe around 10 night they switched off the lights. So by about early morning 2-3 o'clock only, I think I got a little sleep. By half an hour, 1 hour, again somebody will come and switch on the light, and maybe there will be a dengue patient 2 beds below down the line, so a nurse will come and switch on the light and check his temperature or take some blood samples right then. It's a stressful environment, but there are other people also going through the same thing. There are other people who are with the patient, so when you speak to them, you get a little relief. And the toilets, bathrooms and all of the hospital ward was not so bad. It's not as clean as the home one, but it was fairly clean, but it was okay, not as bad as I thought. So that's the way I spent the about 3 days I spent in the hospital, not continuously. First day about one from noon to next day noon. After that again from that noon to night, my brother-in-law was there. The next day morning I came, and till evening I stayed. After that, the next day also from morning, and by afternoon, third or fourth day by afternoon they discharged him. So if I think about the experience, when I was in the hospital, first few hours, first day, I think every time I used to look at there was a clock. I used to look at the clock, what is the time, and I used to see my phone, try to see my phone. Charging was a problem. There was no outlet near my father's bed, so I had to go and put the phone to charge a few beds down the line from where we were, and I had to keep eye because somebody can steal. It's an open ward. Somebody can steal my phone and go the outlet from the charging outlet. Anyway, I had my phone. I was researching about on the internet about my father's illness and general things that come up. It was also interesting to see how the ward functions, how they distribute medicine. We had to. Now my father couldn't eat, so he had a feeding tube. He needed to be his tablets needed to be powdered and fed through the tube. We used to powder the tablets and mix and keep. A nurse comes and feeds it. There was a separate place to eat also, where the patients can go and eat. Otherwise, the people who are with the patient. And I had to also change, look after my father. In this case, because he was not only eating little. There was no number 2 going, but he needed to be. Every 3-4 hours he needed urination. They did not put any urinal. There was a bottle like thing. I used to keep it, lift his bed sheet and keep it, and collect his urine, and we had to measure the urine also, because they told to measure how much urine was going. So I used to go to the bathroom, put it into a cup and measure how much urine, like 300-400 milliliters. So that was an experience. But it was not bad, or it was not difficult as I thought. In my 42 years of life, this is the first time I have spent in a hospital ward. It was good experience. In case I have to in the future, who knows, even if for my father or somebody else, or even if I had to go now, I have the experience now in the back in my life. So I'm ready to go to a government hospital. No, because private hospitals, it would be good if we can go, but since we can't afford it at the moment, Government hospitals are okay. I'm glad I had that experience, though my father's situation now. My father's situation is improved. He is recovered and he's at home, back home now. But we have to expect, because it's a minor stroke, we have to expect a major stroke anytime. He can become paralyzed and or pass away. Don't know. Life is like that now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening to my video. If you like my video, subscribe to Talking to the Camera challenge. I am doing a 30-day Talking to the Camera challenge, and last few days I couldn't do for the obvious reason of staying in the hospital. But from tomorrow I will start the challenge again. Thank you very much, and see you with another new video. Bye.